On this day in Seventh Day Adventist history, February 6, 1911. In July of 1899, Charles C. Nicola married Mary Byington, the granddaughter of John Byington, first acting president of the General Conference. Soon after this, Charles and Mary founded the New England Sanitarium. Charles had health problems and finally had to resign his position at the sanitarium. Mrs. White urged them to sever their ties with John Kellogg and invited them to join the staff at Loma Linda University Sanitarium. But instead, they joined the Hinsdale staff in Chicago. This worried Mrs. White because of the influence that John Kellogg had at that sanitarium also. "You are both in danger," warned Mrs. White. She continued to warn them of the dangers of Battle Creek and not to go there. Finally, when Charles' health returned, Nicola's returned to New England, this time to a private sanitarium. In late 1910 or early 1911, Charles, in company with a patient from the sanitarium, went to Bermuda for a few weeks west. While there, he began to gain in strength and health, and so started on his return trip. On the ship, he seemed cheerful, and with his traveling companions laid out plans for the future. He retired Sunday night, February 5, 1911, as cheerful as ever. In the morning, he arose about 6 o'clock and went out onto the upper deck. That was the last seen of him. He dropped completely from the world. The gentleman who traveled with him was fully convinced that as he ascended to the upper deck, he opened the side door onto the landing just below the floor of the upper deck. And as the floor was slippery and the boat was rolling heavily, he was suddenly pitched over to the side of the ship. This part of the deck was so far hidden from the rest of the ship that his fall overboard could not have been seen from the upper deck where the watch was stationed, and thus, within moments, he would have been gone. This part of the story we'll never know for sure, but on this day, February 6, 1911, Dr. Charles C. Nicola was lost at sea between Bermuda and the United States.